or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently. We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen GOP show. I'm your host, Queen GOP, and this is your Sunday vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Let's get ready to get into it, beloveds. Okay, so hello, most hated bronze flat power guy, Lillian X in the house, Timothy, Christopher is here. All right, shout out to my moderators for putting in work. Okay, let's get into it. Janie Lynn, Nessa. All right, Christopher Perkins, Timothy. All right, Lillian X. We the people, Nessa G, Desmond. All right, let's get this party started, Miss AP. Don Whitty is in the house. All right, so before we get started, let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so everybody be kind enough to hit that like button. Thank you in advance. All right, so with that all being said, let's get into it because it is a whole lot going on. Let me tell you all something. First of all, Trump and the GOP
were trying so desperately to act as though this was all the fault of the left. What happened with Charlie Kirk, saying that they've been promoting political violence, basically saying they're at war with them, and all these crazy things they've been saying. And I find it all interesting because what do they have to say now that they have found out that it was one of their own, that the person's entire family was nothing more than MAGA? Okay? Yeah, nothing more than MAGA. So what do? Now they try to change the narrative. Now they're saying that the young man, Tyler Robinson, who was the actual shooter and the killer, who was turned in by his father, mind you, now they're saying that he was dating a trans identifying person and that this person radicalized him. Do y'all hear this? Yeah, that's what they said. They said that this trans person that he was supposedly dating radicalized him. Okay, so I have several questions. Now, first of all, how do they know this? And the next thing is, why are they blaming, if he was dating someone who identifies as trans, why would they just be so quick to assume that this person radicalized him? Okay, maybe he was already radical. You all see how they keep doing this? They keep trying to bring up, and remember, they told a lie and said that the ammunition had trans ideology all over it. Well, first of all, what is trans ideology? Can someone please explain to the rest of us what that exactly is? I have several questions. Okay, I have several questions. They're out here trying to paint narratives, and now they're looking all crazy because, for one, when Trump was asked about how he felt or how he was doing after his friend's demise, he didn't seem to care anything about how Charlie, that Charlie was dead. He didn't seem that he cared anything about it as far as I'm concerned. All he wanted to do was talk about the ballroom. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on now, you guys, hold on for a second because I'm actually multitasking. I'm getting some of these posts that I want you all to see. Okay, I'm uploading some of those. But so let's take a look at Trump. When Trump was at the game the day after Charlie's demise, and he was dancing. I mean, I guess you could call that dancing. He was dancing, and I guess that's what you could call it, dancing to YMCA. Okay, didn't look like he was the least bit hurt or concerned. Trump doesn't care anything about anyone but himself. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Now, of course, I had to take out the music because y'all know he was actually dancing to his favorite song, which is none other than YMCA. Okay, that's what he was dancing to. Of course, I had to swap. Another Queen Amadaya production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda.
Okay, so y'all saw that. Trump couldn't care less about that man. This was literally the day after the man lost his life. Okay, literally the day after. Does Trump look like he was concerned? Why was he even at a game? Okay, I have several questions. Now let's go to this one when they asked him how he was doing. Let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
All of these Republicans have completely switched their narrative after learning Tyler Robinson was a straight white guy who had Republican parents is absolutely hilarious. For example, Donald Trump was asked about the situation, and he did not even address it whatsoever. He just started rambling on about the White House ballroom. Check this out.
Oh, holding up over the last 3.5 days?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years.
Absolutely insane. He had nothing to say there. The only thing he knows how to do is blame the Democrats for everything. That's why he instantly switched the subject onto the stupid White House ballroom that nobody cares about. And this might be even worse. Take a look at Nancy Mace's reaction before she learned this guy was a far-right white guy. Time to bring back the death penalty. Then after she learned more about this guy, she says, we need to know Charlie Kirk would want us to pray for such an evil and lost individual like Tyler Robinson to find Jesus Christ. We will all try to do the same. Suddenly, Trump and Nancy Mace's outrage disappeared once they learned this guy wasn't a radical Democrat, as they tried to claim. So now their new narrative is that this guy was brainwashed by the college that he went to. That is all they can come up with. You know, I go to college and they're not teaching me to assassinate people that I disagree with. In fact, they're teaching me to accept other people because they have differing beliefs, and that is a perfectly normal thing.
Exactly. Okay, exactly. I mean, they're just trying so hard and desperately to paint these narratives. They're trying so desperately to paint these false narratives because they're just so butthurt that he was actually one of them. And that's actually what the governor of Utah, in fact, said. Okay, let's go to that. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Basically said that he was hoping that it wasn't one of them. Okay? That's what he said. Hold on, let me find that real quick. Here we go. Give me just a second to cue this video, beloveds. Okay, here we go.
With an ocean view. Then he found a vacation.
Not sure if it's the end of a dark chapter or beginning of a darker one. Is your view of America right now shaken?
Yeah, I mean, if your view of America is not shaken right now, then there's something wrong with you. This is a direct assault on America, a direct assault on every single one of us. Of course, it's an assault on Charlie, and we love Erica and her kids and his family. But this is us, and this is our chance. This is our moment. We've had periods like this in the past. I mentioned the late 60s and early 70s. But if we're waiting for a president or a governor to get us out of this dark chapter, then it will never happen. We can't, I don't understand this, again, giving our agency up, waking up every day and saying, well, what did the president say today? That's going to determine how I react. Or what does the governor say today? That makes no sense to me. Every one of us has to look in the mirror and decide, are we going to try to make it better? Or are we going to make it worse? And I pray that God will help us find him again and find our souls and find each other again.
Well, you all heard that. Hold on. Let me go to this. This is the one right here, I believe, where he was expressing that he was hoping so desperately that it wasn't one of them. Now, when he's saying one of them, I'm not sure if he means a white person or a member of the GOP. I have questions.
You've called this a watershed event in our history, and that the chapter is still being written about what kind of a watershed event is it? What direction the country goes from here? Can you just talk about that a little bit, and how do we all help write that history?
Yeah, so to me, I look at this. It feels like something happened. This is big, and it's big for a reason. Again, somebody who was involved in political speech, political discourse, doing the very thing that is the foundation for our democratic republic, and then losing their life, which makes it harder for all of us to do the thing that we should do, and that's dangerous in a different type of way. And so the question is, we've certainly been building to this. I don't think it's a surprise to most people people that something terrible like this could happen. President Trump was almost assassinated a year ago. So the question is this the end of a very dark era? Does this wake us up in a way that we actually change, or is this just the beginning of something far, far worse? And what will write that history, what that will depend on is all of us. It's not any one person who's going to change this. If we're waiting for a leader from Washington, D.C. or Utah or anywhere else, then it will never happen. And that's why I just feel so strongly that it's incumbent on every single one of us to look into our souls and decide, do we want this to continue? Are we going to be the part that continues, or are we going to try something different? And that's the only way we're going to break out of this fever dream.
All right. So now with that all been said, we've heard about these people getting fired, but you all know they have upped the ante. Okay, I'm sure you know, because I was literally talking about this yesterday, how people are getting fired for things that they've been saying. Okay? For things that they have been saying or posting on social media about Mr. Charlie Kirk. All right, so I find it all interesting. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so with that all been said, hold on, let me go to this first video clip. I'm still looking for that video. Let's go to this right here. First of all, let's go to what Gary Owens said, because some people are mad about Gary Owens. They didn't like what he said. I don't know why they would be mad. That's his opinion. That's literally his opinion. And I guess some people think other people are not allowed to have one of those. Okay. Hold on. Let me put an overlay on this, because I think this guy might be on YouTube as well.
Court yesterday, Charlie Kirk got shot. And then took a couple hours, and then it came out he passed away. And I go to X or Twitter, and that's where I heard about it. And I don't know how I came across the most graphic video I've seen. I've seen all the different angles of how he got shot. I couldn't watch this again. I've heard the same people say, I don't have to agree with your political beliefs, but this is a father. He left 2 kids behind, a wife. Yeah, we get that. I understand. I think the most disturbing part is whoever did this, you basically killed somebody because they had a difference of opinion than you. I'm like, Charlie wasn't in government. He wasn't in politics yet. He was about to be. I guarantee you that. There's not a doubt in my mind in less than 20 years he'd have been running for president. Again, I didn't agree with his stance on the gun law stuff. I didn't like that comment, obviously, but I don't think he should die for it.
So this is the video that Gary Owen is getting held accountable for from the Black community. Again, let me just re-emphasize exactly what he is being held accountable for having an opinion about the fact that Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die over having an opinion at 31 years old as a father of 2 children and with a wife. He did not deserve to get killed. Now that we have more information from a person that was in a relationship with a trans person that had become radicalized, and then often at times, according to all of the different people that knew him, neighbors, witnesses, and everything like that, was irrational, decided to go and kill him at an event where he was having a conversation because he was making a huge impact on the youth, and then his potential political career, which obviously wasn't even there yet. There are groups of people, specifically liberals, raging liberals and Black people, that are hell-bent on making sure that they get their opinion off and get their shit off and get their rocks off about the fact that Yay! They didn't even know him. They didn't even follow him. Wasn't even really familiar with him. Is reciting talking points from other people that is just misquoting and taking out of context what he said. They're excited. They're getting hard. They are getting off on the idea that a man was killed on a college campus for an opinion in a place where we're supposed to have freedom of speech and no censorship.
Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, here's the thing. I don't think anybody, hold on. I don't think anybody should be upset that Gary Owens, who is white himself, though he may have black children and had a black wife, that doesn't mean that he's exempt from feeling empathy and sympathy for another person who looks like him, of his own race. And also, even if that weren't the case, for whatever reason he feels sympathy or whatever, and anybody else, no one should be going in on people about that. Now, me personally, I'm gonna go in on you if you look like me and you're sitting up there crying over this man and you're sitting there mad because other people who look like me are not crying. That's where I have the problem. If it's your opinion, if you want to cry, if you feel sad, that's on you. I don't have a problem with that because everybody's entitled to their opinion or to feel how they want, like I have said before. But don't sit here and get mad at me and other black people because we don't feel empathy and sympathy. That man said he didn't even believe in empathy, said it was dangerous, said it was all made up. It was a made up word, when in fact all words are made up, aren't they? I'm sorry, I thought they were, but anyway, yeah, just don't do that. Okay. So you can feel sorry. Gary Owens is entitled to feel sorry. He can cry, whatever he wants to do. Nobody should be trying to go in on that man, least of all, not any black people. Okay, because Gary Owens is not black. Now I don't know why some of y'all black people seem to think that just because somebody is in our community dating amongst us or whatever they're doing, working as an activist or whatever, that they are supposed to be likened to us, because they're still not us. Okay, they are still not us, so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I find it interesting because, you see, as I told you, they get upset because people are not crying over this man, because some people are not sympathetic or whatever. And then also the GOP is upset because they sat there and tried to blame it all on the radical left extremists. Isn't that what they said? Isn't that what they all assumed? And they wanted to push and paint that narrative. And I find it so interesting because they didn't have a damn thing to say when those Democrats, okay, what happened to them in Minnesota? So with that all being said, now they're all looking so stupid. So now, oh, let's change the narrative. He was dating a transgender, so that person had to have radicalized him? How do they know that? Where did they get this from? They already lied and had to try to walk it back when they said that there was transgender ideology on the ammunition. First of all, what the hell is transgender ideology? I'm still waiting on one of y'all to put in the chat and let me know, because I'm lost. I didn't know there was such a thing. I mean, what is that? Okay. I mean, we could say racist ideology might include, someone images of the Klan, the Confederate flag, a noose, perhaps, things like that. But what is trans ideology? I've never heard of it. Now, here's a post. Brooks Singman says, exclusive. Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson lived with his transgender partner, sources tell me. The individual, who is a male transitioning to be a female, is fully cooperating with the FBI. Sources tell me that the FBI had texts and other communications between Robinson and the individual that helped FBI authorities solidify that Robinson was indeed the shooter. That's all a lie and BS. You know how that's a lie and BS? Because they didn't need anybody to solidify any damn thing. Specifically, the FBI didn't, because the guy turned himself in. Tyler Robinson, like I told you all on yesterday, let me repeat it for those of you who missed it. Tyler Robinson was confronted by his father, who saw the images of him on the news, and his father asked him, was that him? And he said, yes. He confessed to it. His father then went to some pastors they knew and were advised for him to turn himself in. And that's what happened. So I don't know why she's sitting there talking about FBI authorities that helped them to solidify. And here's another thing that doesn't make any damn sense. They're sitting there talking about his transgender partner is the one who radicalized him, as if that's the person who made him want to do what he did to Charlie. But then at the same time, in the next breath, they turn around and say, this person, the transgender partner, is the one who's been helping the FBI. Make it all make sense. Are they helping the FBI, or did they radicalize Tyler? Okay. President Trump told me this morning Kirk's assassination has a trans girlfriend. Look at all these people just spreading this. Okay. Mental illness is very real. Trans violence is very real. Lance Twiggs radicalized Tyler. I guess that's the person's name. If the reporting is right, Twiggs helped turn Robinson in. So how did he help turn him in, but he's the one that radicalized him? You see how that make no sense? None whatsoever. These people are all crazy. Okay, so let me get this straight. The violence is coming from Tyler's transgender girlfriend, allegedly, who is cooperating with the police, not the white dude who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. Ha! Exactly. Make it all make sense. You see how they don't even want to blame the darn killer because his whole family is Republicans and they're all MAGA? And that information was compliments of his grandma. That's what she said, that the entire family is MAGA. Okay, that's why Trump didn't want to talk about it when they came and asked him, so how are you doing after your friend was killed or whatever they said? And he's like, oh, yeah, they're building the ballroom, the new ballroom of the White House. Looks great. It's going to be grand. I can't wait to host an event. Trump, nobody asked you about no damn ballroom. They want to know how you feel since your friend got murked. Okay, because just the other day you were saying he was a whole legend and all of that and a martyr and whatnot. All right, anyway, Ben Johnson says, this is 100% confirmed. Charlie Kirk killer Tyler Robinson had a boyfriend who identified as transgender. This man is cooperating with the FBI and has turned over all electronics and messages. I'm hearing there is much more to come. Where are they getting all this? Because last I heard, which was definitely confirmed, is that his father and those pastors got him to turn himself in. Okay? Cash Patel, the FBI had nothing to do with it. They did the work themselves. So what are they talking about? Then they talk about the trans person is giving up all the salacious details and all the information and receipts. But aren't they the one that y'all are claiming radicalized this young man? See how they sound crazy? See how they sound crazy. That's what y'all to pay attention. Anyway, what do y'all have to say about it? Mama Joseph said, OMG, I've never seen anything like this. Honey, me either. But let's talk about these people getting fired, honey, because they said people getting fired all across the country, across the nation. I told you all last night about teachers and professors throughout the nation getting fired. But here are some people actually talking about it. Hold on. We got to get into it because some of the people actually came out. Ooh, honey, it was one man. He just acted a whole fool. Please pay attention. Hold on. Now, this is the video, if you all remember from Office Depot that I told you all about last night. This is the actual video from Office Depot when the people went there to try to get the pictures of Charlie Kirk printed up for the flyer.
So we came in for an order earlier to print a poster for a vigil tonight.
Yes,
for somebody that passed. It's not.
It's propaganda. I'm sorry. We don't put that here.
Alrighty. So, what's your name?
I'm Kirk. I'm print supervisor. I'm one of the managers.
Yes.
So, unfortunately,
so they say they don't print political propaganda. So this is somebody that passed away a couple years ago.
That's political propaganda, unfortunately.
So this is for a prayer tonight, for a prayer vigil?
It's still propaganda, unfortunately.
What makes it propaganda?
Because he's a political figure, and I don't have to.
Our general manager is going to be in on Monday. If you
No,
want to
it's
speak
totally
further on the subject,
you would like to.
you're welcome to return.
Okay, so now what do you all think about that? Because listen, I think I told you all on last night when I talked about that, they should have gone ahead and printed that up. Now, I didn't like Charlie Kirk, but they should have printed that up. It was for a vigil. How do you think you're going to get away with that? How do you think you're going to get away with that? You're saying it's propaganda. This man sitting here telling you it's for a vigil for somebody that passed away. Now, y'all know y'all was going to get in trouble for that, or you should have known. Okay, you should have known. Mama Joe said all this to push him as a radical leftist. Cerebral said this is all to push an agenda. Listen, watch body language. Listen to how they all are stating political violence. Right. This is what I brought up the other day, honey. I literally showed them an article that had the words political violence in parentheses. Of course, they're trying to focus on that term, political violence, so they can try to blame it on the left. At least that's what they were trying to do, but that can't work. Okay, that can't work. So since that didn't work because they found out the young man sold families GOP, so now they're all Republicans and MAGA. So now they turn around and try to say, oh, you know what? It was his trans girlfriend who was transitioning from male to female. She had to have radicalized it. They sound crazy. How are y'all going to just sit there and say that? Because here's the thing I find interesting. Now, they keep talking about the trans partner is helping the FBI and giving them all this information and receipts. Did the trans partner, in fact, tell the FBI that they are the one who radicalized him? I'm sure they didn't. So where are they getting this from? Okay? Where are they getting this all from? Anita said, I bet had it been a black man, Mark Charlie Kirk, it definitely would have gone down a whole lot different. You already know it would have, honey. Please. They were hoping it would be a black man. Don't you know? They were hoping it would be a black man, and I'm pretty sure of that. That's why they started harassing the HBCUs and making threats. Because they wanted so desperately for it to be a black person so they could try to throw us in the mix and have us in there with the bullshit. Okay? But with that all being said, let's go to this next video. Like, so everyone, please like and share. I want to get through this so then we can talk about these emails, Epstein's 18,000 emails that exposed Trump and Mandelson. We're going to get into it.
People who speak out against Charlie Kirk or mock Charlie Kirk's death. Literally, Pissy Pete said to report any soldiers that you see mocking or making light of Charlie Kirk's death, and they will receive punishment. Teachers are being punished and fired if they made light or mocked Charlie Kirk's death. What the fuck is going on? How is it okay for Charlie Kirk to have free speech and say whatever the fuck he wants about whoever the fuck he wants to say it about? But now, when other Americans want to say whatever the fuck they want to say about his death, y'all are trying to come after them and punish them and get them fired from their jobs? What fucking sense does that make? I thought we were all about freedom and freedom of speech. But now that Charlie Kirk is dead, motherfuckers gotta be sad about the shit. We don't gotta be fucking sad about that shit. He was a racist piece of shit. And people can feel however the fuck they want to feel about it and express how they feel about it, however they fucking want to. Is it because everybody saw it and nobody gives a fuck? Nobody feels bad for him? Because he wouldn't feel bad for him. Why the fuck should we feel bad for somebody who wouldn't feel bad for himself? He don't give a fuck about empathy or sympathy. To him, this was worth it. Him losing his life for y'all Second Amendment right is worth it. So get the fuck over it.
Y'all heard what she said? Y'all heard what she said, and here's the thing. At the end of the day, Pete Hegseth sitting there telling other soldiers and telling people at the Pentagon to snitch on their co-workers, on other employees. So if he finds out that any of them have posted or said anything negative about Charlie Kirk, they're going to be fired? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? It absolutely is to me. Okay? Nobody has to be mad, sad, crying. People can say what they want. It's their damn opinions. I wish somebody would try to fire me over that BS. They'll be sued so quick.
Just so we're clear, if you are a racist teacher in the US, in Florida, for instance, it's okay to say racist things. However, if you make commentary about the fact that you're not upset or not sad for losing Charlie Kirk, you can be fired. Yeah. So racist, okay, but not in support of Charlie Kirk, not okay. I know I have a lot of followers from all over the world that are baffled by how we do things here in the US, and I'm sure this is just adding to the list. We are already in a major teacher shortage, so I can't even imagine what happens to some of our kids now. And also, if you're in the military and you're found to be making disparaging marks on Charlie Kirk, you can be sanctioned for that as well.
Yeah, you can be sanctioned for it, okay? Please pay attention, honey. They are not playing any games about this man, Charlie Kirk. And this is just more government control. I want you all to pay attention because remember how the Republicans were trying to make us be convinced that the Democrats were the ones that wanted to take away freedom of speech, and they're the ones that wanted to, just basically censor us on social media and whatever. They're the ones that just wanted to not allow us to say things we wanted to say about politics or whatever, or, people within politics. But now they're doing the same thing. See, this is what I be talking about. I be telling you guys for years that these two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, they all have the same ultimate goal and agenda. They just have different ways of going about it. All they are is controlled opposition. They point the finger of blame and shame at each other when they know damn well they're all doing the same thing. Okay? They're all doing the same thing as far as I'm concerned. Let's go to this next video.
Hey, it's Joe from Georgia. Listen up. If you're out there and you're making a celebration of Charlie Kirk's passing, first of all, you shouldn't do it. Second of all, the government is out there looking for people who are doing that. And that at the high profile end of it was a Marine today who lost his position and is going to be discharged because of he posted something about Charlie Kirk. And basically, it wasn't anything that I would see that was so horrible, but it wasn't positive. So he has been let go from his position. So now people are being censored for what they can say about Charlie Kirk, who, by the way, is a private citizen here in the United States. He is not an official of any sort in our government. So why have we got our government discharging people because of their freedom of speech? And a lot of people have lost their jobs over it. Some people went ridiculously overboard. No one should celebrate anyone's death at all, no matter what. You should basically say, okay, that mouth is no longer running. Hey, it's Joe from Georgia. So the shooter.
Okay, so here's the Utah governor with his silly self. Now listen to what he says. Some of you have already probably heard this, I'm sure, but I thought this was real interesting.
You know, this bad stuff happens. And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for.
Let me tell you something. These people are all crazy. I'm going to tell you right now, all these people getting fired are absolutely crazy if they're not suing. Okay, fire me if you want to over something that I said that was my damn opinion that wasn't a threat. I dare you. I dare you, because I promise you, you'll pay before I will at the end of the day. Okay, and here's the thing. Some people are so stupid anyway, because why the hell do you have your job, your place of employment, or anything so personal about you on your social media? Why do people have their jobs and stuff posted on their social media? Okay, that's crazy. I remember one time when I was on Facebook, this dude got mad at me about something. He was trying to debate me or trying to beef with me about something stupid. And then the next day he was like, you don't even have the college you work at posted on your social media. I said, and don't. Why do I need to have it on there? I know where I work. Like miss me with it, trying to set me up. Man, you literally just got into it yesterday. Now all of a sudden you want to know where I work. Sir, sit down somewhere. I'm not stupid. Do I look stupid? Well, I might to some people, but at the end of the day, I'm not. Okay, trust and believe. All right, now let's talk about this Marine who got fired. Poor thing. Captain Jacoby Williamson, relieved of his duties. Relieved of his duties, honey. Please pay attention.
Social media posts that were put after Charlie Kirk's death. We've been seeing it really across not only the public jobs, but also some private sector jobs as well, but also in our military. I want to bring you this information that a Marine was fired for his social media post after Charlie Kirk's death. The result of the Pentagon's campaign to reprimand troops for inappropriate posts about Charlie Kirk's killing has been swift. Captain Austin Gallegos, a spokesperson for the Western Recruiting Region, confirmed a Marine officer whose post became part of the campaign on social media has been relieved of his duties as a recruiter and is now being investigated. Another military official who spoke on conditions to candidly discuss ongoing investigations confirmed that their service branch had also initiated several investigations of service members and their social media posts following online reports. Also want to show you what Sean Parnell put out, saying it is unacceptable for military personnel and Department of War civilians to celebrate or mock the assassination of a fellow American. The Department of War has zero tolerance for it. Pete Hegseth also saying, we are tracking all these very closely and will address immediately. Completely unacceptable.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. They would have to get real technical if that were me. They said mocking the death. Now, here's the thing. Expressing your dislike for someone, your lack of empathy and sympathy for someone who's passed away, that is not mocking them. Mocking them is imitating them, doing something that they did in life, repeating words that they quoted, doing actions that they did, poking fun at them. Now, if you don't have empathy and sympathy, that doesn't mean you're mocking them, in my opinion. Michael M.W. said, you guys are against hate speech, but laughing at someone's death is just pure hate speech. Well, first of all, you spell speech wrong, okay? It's S-P-E-E-C-H. That's number one. Second of all, nobody's laughing at this man's death. What are you talking about? Have you seen anybody laughing because this man is dead? Nobody's laughing. It's just the fact that we're not crying that bothers you. Just admit it. These people who are upset, who are saying, oh, people are laughing, they're celebrating. Nobody's damn celebrating, you idiots. Nobody's celebrating death for anybody, whether you like the person or you hated them. Nobody is celebrating death. It's the fact that people are not crying that's bothering you. And stop trying to paint false narratives, acting like somebody's laughing just because your dumb ass is mad because nobody's crying. I don't have to cry, okay? And I'm not going to. So miss me with it. And then talking about those people got fired for hate speech. No, they didn't. None of them said anything hateful. Somebody actually posted and said the world's a better place. There it is. I said it. They didn't even put a name to it. They didn't say who they were talking about, but they still got fired. Nobody's getting fired for hate speech, honey. People are getting fired for voicing their opinions about how they felt about a certain person. If somebody can collect $800,000 because they got fired for actually using hate speech, then you can sit here and tell me and expect that it's going to make a bit of sense that somebody got fired when they didn't even use hate speech. They simply gave their opinion that they didn't like somebody. You mean to tell me they don't have a right to not like somebody? You mean to tell me that they have to like everybody that the government demands that they like? You sound crazy. Okay, you sound crazy. At the end of the day, do I need to drop the link? We can tell you were racist by the comments you were leaving. Nobody cares. Okay, trust me, nobody cares. Period. All right? Now have a good day. Now let's continue because this person's talking about people got fired from Delta. And oh, just so you all know, let me just tell you all something. There's a bunch of people, a groupically, they're on TikTok. Okay? And they basically are going around looking for people who are talking greasy about Charlie Kirk. Then they're going through the trouble of finding the people's employment and sending stuff to them and reporting them. So far, they said they've gotten 15 people fired and they have like a list of 300 people.
And some employees for social media posts about Charlie Kirk. Essentially, I mean, if it's been 3 days, I guess they was waiting for this man to rise. My God, this is the new Jehovah Jireh. I just have this thought. What would a black man have to accomplish in 31 years of life to have his body flown to his widow by the vice president of our country to...
Hold on, I want y'all to listen. White King says, I'm reporting this channel. Charlie Kirk was doing God's work. Okay, well, what God are you talking about? Because it's not the one I serve. I'll guarantee you of that. Go ahead and report it. You think I'm concerned about that? Miss me with it, okay? Miss me with it. That's not going to do nothing. There's no hate speech on this channel. Like I said, I don't use racial slurs. I don't say anything hateful. I don't have to love Charlie Kirk, all right? That's what I don't have to do.
Hours of his passing, and for the entire country to mourn his existence, and there be no room for anyone to critique any of the statements he made while he was living. Like, what would that look like? Like, let's role play. What is that? What type of life would a Black man have to live for that to happen? Because I've seen all these comparisons that Martin Luther King, these white folks wasn't up in arms about Martin Luther King's passing, his assassination.
Exactly.
I just watched a documentary. The radio station in Memphis had to do a fundraiser to save the Lorraine Hotel from being auctioned off.
Mm-hmm.
They want to build a statue of Charlie Kirk on the Capitol. I want to know, though, like, I'm interested, because anytime I see Black lives lost and I see how they're ripped apart, and I always acknowledge how we have to be like the perfect victim for us to have any type of grace offered to us. In this instance, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. 43 years of life, I've never seen anything like this for someone who hasn't done anything to change the fabric of the wider society. He impacted the people who followed him. Yes. Glad that blessed you. But there's too many Americans who have not been affected by this man at all for y'all to expect us all to be in mourning like this. Well, you don't expect it. You're not acknowledging that anyone isn't in mourning. So let me back up. So what type of Black life would have to, what does that look like?
Okay, at the end of the day, honey, they have all this and that to say about Charlie and firing people for not, bowing down to Charlie or kissing his boots after he's gone and all that. Listen, some of these people didn't even know who that man was. Some people never even heard of him. Okay? So give it a rest. You think people are going to sit up here and cry over somebody they never even heard of? Like, a lot of people are just now heard about this man after his demise. Okay? Please sit down somewhere. These people are so ridiculous. Now, with that all being said, now let's get into it about these emails. Okay, let's get into it about these emails. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. This is all a hot mess. Now, hold on. One thing, before we get into the emails, hold on. Let me just remind you all of how Trump praised FBI Director Kash Patel for speaking after. And as I told you all, they didn't catch the man. The man turned himself in, okay? The man turned himself in. And so what is Trump even talking about? Sitting there acting like they did such a good job. And this is what they say. Listen to this. A law enforcement source told Fox News Digital that typically when evidence is collected in an investigation, an agent ships it to the labs. But the source said Patel directed the evidence and fingerprints be sent back to Quantico via plane, traveling back and forth from Utah, collecting and delivering the evidence. Says the DNA was being analyzed through the night, because the director was there and he was directing all of this. That's what the source told Fox News Digital. Said he directed everyone and said, you're going to get the evidence out now. Okay, the evidence was getting back to the labs in rapid speed. That's why he was caught so quickly. Child, please sit down. He was caught so quickly because the man's father talked to those pastors and they all told him to turn himself in. Do y'all hear this? A law enforcement source familiar with Fox News Digital said that Robinson's father, who ultimately turned him into authorities, told the FBI that he recognized his son in that released video. Yes, he did. So why are they sitting here acting like the DNA being sent back and forth so quick, and Kash Patel and the FBI did all this so quick and record speed, and that's how he got caught? Like, sit down somewhere. That's not even what happened. Okay? That's not even what happened. And then listen to this. I thought this sounded so stupid. Okay, first of all, local FBI was on the scene immediately after the shooting, and Patel arrived at around 5:30 p.m. local time on September the 11th. Patel was walking. He walked through the entire crime scene and stood where Kirk was murdered. Patel walked each step the suspect took, according to sources familiar with the investigation. So what was that supposed to do? Because he walked each step. Patel also went to the rooftop where Robinson had allegedly perched and retraced his steps as he fled, including into the wooded area where the gun, a Mauser 30.06 rifle, was found. Patel personally directed agents as they processed evidence and prepared to send it to Quantico ATF labs or local labs. Sources told Fox News Digital that Patel then directed the evidence to be loaded onto a plane with initial forensics and evidence collected and sent it back to the FBI labs for processing. Y'all hear this? They try to act like Kash Patel did such a thorough job. He bungled the entire investigation. Okay, had that young man not turned himself in, or somebody else turned him in, or whatever, he'd still be out there. Okay, what is Kash Patel even talking about, and why is Trump praising him? Okay. Swim said Kash Patel ain't fooling nobody. Exactly. Exactly. So I find it all so interesting. But anyway, let's talk about these emails, honey. Oh my Lord, honey, they got all Jeffrey Epstein's emails out here in the streets. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. You know, these emails actually came out about 2 or 3 days ago, but nobody seemed to notice because we were all too busy caught up with the Charlie Kirk saga. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Leaked emails. Woo, honey, this is all crazy. The leaked emails reveal Epstein wanted Trump deleted from the mysterious power list. Did you all hear about that? Did you all hear about that? Let's talk about it. So remember how we were talking about finding the whole Epstein list and if Trump was on the list and how Trump didn't want the list to come out? And some people are even trying to blame Charlie Kirk's death or murder on Trump, saying that Trump would do anything to keep the list from coming out and all this stuff, honey. People have a lot of speculations going on. But here's the thing. In those 18,000 emails that were leaked of Epstein's, the Epstein estate, I guess, put the emails out. They say multiple news reports and earlier media outlets say that in the emails between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell from around 2006, there's a message where Epstein told Maxwell to remove Trump from a list of powerful people. Okay, so Trump was on that Epstein list. Y'all heard it. Remove him from a powerful list, a list of powerful people. What list is that? They say the list purpose is unclear. I think we can figure out what the list was all about. Nobody has definitively said that the list of 51 powerful individuals, what it was for, whether a social list, a mailing list, an outreach list, etc. Well, we do know that it was Epstein's list. Okay, we know that much. Doesn't really matter what it was for. I think we can all just pretty much figure that all out. So the context around why Epstein wanted Trump removed isn't explained in the emails. Now, some outlets are cautious and emphasize that while Trump's name appears, no wrongdoing has been established just from that removal. So they're saying Trump, we don't have proof that Trump did anything wrong, but I bet you the victims just might. So with that all being said, here's the thing. Bottom line is, they say that Jeffrey Epstein and Trump fell out, which is likely why Epstein told Ghislaine to remove him from the list of powerful people. Is basically because he and Epstein got into it because Epstein went to Trump. Because remember, Trump was all into real estate at the time. Epstein went to Trump to ask him for his advice about a property that he wanted to purchase. Trump wanted Trump to talk to him about the property. And then once he talked to him about it, Trump bought the property out from under him. Okay? He brought the property out from under Epstein. And Epstein was ticked off about it. So that's what they fell out about, supposedly, allegedly. Okay? And so that's likely why he wanted his name removed from the list. This actually all happened around 2004 with the whole thing. When Trump outbid Epstein, it was actually for a Palm Beach estate, Maison de la Amite. Okay? The bankruptcy auction for the property, formerly owned by Abe Gossman, was widely cited as the event that ended the friendship between the two men. Okay, Epstein entered the bidding with an offer, because this was under foreclosure, or under bankruptcy. He entered the bidding with an offer of $37.25 million, but dropped out after being topped. And guess who topped him? Trump. Trump ultimately won the auction with a successful bid of $41.35 million. Okay, after the contentious auction, there is little public record of the two men interacting. All right, they called it a real estate betrayal. According to journalist Michael Wolff, Epstein believed Trump had gone behind his back to buy the mansion after touring it with him. Wolff claims this prompted Epstein to suspect Trump reported him to the authorities, contributing to his downfall. Oh, wait a minute. So Epstein thought Trump was the one who reported him. And you know what? Trump probably is the one who reported Epstein. Because now, as I think about it, do you all remember about 2 years ago, I believe it was, when I was talking about Trump and Epstein before anybody was? Do y'all remember how I told you that basically Trump and Epstein had gotten into this whole debacle? And then when Epstein got busted, I showed you all the video where the prosecutor, I believe it was the prosecutor, he was on video with Trump and he was talking about how Trump had helped him with the Epstein case. And is this why just the other day they said Trump was a federal informant and then tried to walk it back? Do you all remember that? Once in the chat, if you remember them saying that Trump was a federal informant. I played that video for you all the other day. And then they tried to walk it back and say, well, not a federal informant, but, he helped or whatever. Yeah, Trump is low down and nefarious. I didn't even. Okay, so you all are putting what? So you all do remember, okay? So yeah, this man, Michael Wolff, is implying that Jeffrey Epstein felt that Trump was the one who reported him to the authorities, contributing to his downfall. They say in 2019, Trump initially said the reason for their split didn't much matter, and that they hadn't been friends for 15 years. In a later interview in 2025, Trump claimed the friendship ended because Epstein had stolen women who worked at the Mar-a-Lago spa. An attorney involved in the bankruptcy case described the auction as a showdown between two very large Palm Beach egos going at it. Isn't that something? So they basically say Trump was pitted against Epstein, but Trump pitted himself against that man, honey. That's how that goes. I want y'all to pay attention. So anyway, let's talk about some of these emails. So on September the 14th of 2006, Ghislaine Maxwell was sent an email, or she sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein with a list of 51 names, politicians, business execs, people of influence. And she wrote saying, please review the list and add or remove peeps. Then it says Trump was one of the names on that list. Epstein responded with 2 words, remove Trump. The purpose of the list is unknown. Media outlets note that that there is no subject line in the email, no additional commentary. So it's not clear whether this was for invitation, social outreach, some event, publicity, or something else. Trump is mentioned in 3 of the 18,000 emails in that Yahoo account report. Aside from this, remove this remove instance, there are at least two other contexts. One where Maxwell predicted reporters might go to Trump with questions related to Epstein's legal issues. Yeah, because they knew they had fallen out. I find it all very interesting. Now let's talk about Mandelson. Okay, because Mandelson was mentioned in those emails. He was mentioned in those emails too. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. So they say, Sir Keir Starmer explicitly asked Lord Mandelson about his links to convicted PDF file Jeffrey Epstein before deciding to appoint him as the UK's ambassador to the US. Now, the Prime Minister is believed to have, hold on. Okay, so the Prime Minister is believed to have asked Mandelson 3 questions via email sent by his Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney, relating to his friendship with the disgraced financier while he was being considered for the influential role. Now, the questions came after the initial vetting of the peer flagged with his relationship with Epstein. The relationship is likely to pile further scrutiny on what Sir Keir knew before Mandelson got the job. While his friendship with Epstein was known at the time of his appointment, Number 10 said new information about it came to light this week, prompting his sacking, meaning he was fired. Downing Street and Mandelson have declined to comment. Now, for those of you who don't know who Mandelson is, this is him right here with the glasses on this picture. Doesn't he look a lot like Bill Gates? He looks like Bill Gates to me. So Mandelson was asked to leave his post on Thursday after a now notorious cache of emails was reported by Bloomberg on Wednesday evening. These included supportive messages Mandelson sent after Epstein had pleaded guilty to soliciting prostitution from a minor in June of 2008. In one message, Mandelson is reported to have told Epstein to fight for early release, and the day before he began his prison sentence, another which read says, "I think the world of you." These emails did not show up in 2 vetting processes carried out in Whitehall around his appointment. Now, when Mandelson was under consideration for ambassador, the Cabinet's Office's Propriety and Ethics team prepared a file for the Prime Minister that contained information about Mandelson and Epstein's links. Now, after reviewing the file, Number 10 sources say Sir Keir asked Mandelson to address 3 specific questions, which were sent to him via email by the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney. So 3 questions were, why has he continued contact with Epstein after he was convicted? Why was he reported to have stayed in one of Epstein's homes while the financier was in prison? And was he associated with a charity founded by Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell that the financier had backed? Now, it is understood Mandelson believes that he was truthful and frank about his association with Epstein and told Number 10 that he had not stayed in Epstein's Manhattan apartment in 2009 while the PDF file was in prison. Another source confirmed Mandelson told Downing Street he had not stayed there, or that he had not stayed there. Now, court documents in 2023 showed Epstein telling his private banker that Mandelson was planning to stay, but the peer has never explicitly denied or confirmed if he did. No 10 sources believe Mandelson was economical with the truth and his answers to those 3 questions. However, at the time, his answers were considered sufficient for him to be appointed, which led to a second vetting process called developing vetting, which is known as DV, being carried out under the auspices of the Foreign Office. Now, the BBC has been told the emails were not available to those in government when Lord Mandelson was appointed, as they came from a defunct email address. A senior Whitehall figure said it would have been possible to locate those messages had more questions been asked and forensic background digging been done. So the role has led to growing pressure on Sir Keir over his judgment in making Mandelson ambassador and questions over the extent of what he knew about ties between Mandelson and Epstein. Some labor MPs in public and private are asking whether Sir Keir should resign, and some are suggesting number 10 senior aides are to blame. Sources have told the BBC that Mandelson was asked to resign on Wednesday, even though the Prime Minister had backed him at PMQs. Mandelson refused, and after a furious Sir Keir read the emails on Wednesday night, a final decision to sack him was taken on Thursday morning. The Cabinet Office has declined to comment, and Mandelson has repeatedly expressed regret about his relationship with Epstein, who died in jail in 2019. Well, Mandelson, you're out of here, buddy. Okay? You're out of here because, first of all, he was sitting there telling him, basically, you know, to fight for his rights, fight his case and all of this, and saying that he believed in him and all that. So he was obviously good friends with the man. Now, he says he did stay at that man's house while he was in prison and still didn't have communications, but nobody's buying it. Okay, nobody is buying it at the end of the day. So with that all being said, I'm about to be out of here. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And I will see you all at 6:30. For those of you who have memberships, I'll see you at 6:30 for your True Crime Sundays. 6:30 for True Crime Sundays. With that all being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they